Good evening and welcome to my channel. Hey, tonight I wanted to talk about the new printer that I got. I recently, just today, went to Micro Center. I looked at a bunch of printers. I also went yesterday and looked too. And I came home last night, and my goal recently has been to try out a bunch of different printers. So I tried the Anycubic Cobra S1. I seriously considered giving it a second chance just because I get a lot of people saying that it's good, but I also get a lot of people saying it's bad, and it just wasn't a good experience for me. But while I was there at the Micro Center, I got to see a bunch of printers firsthand. So I got to see the Elegoo Centuri Carbon 2. I also got to see let me start with the brands. So I got to see the Elegoo Centuri Carbon 2. I got to see the Anycubic Cobra S1, which I have already seen. I got to see the Creality um, K1. I got to see the Creality K2 regular, the Creality K2 Pro, the Creality K2 Plus. I also got to see the Bambu Lab A1, the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, the Bambu Lab P1S, P2S, H2D, H2C, H2S. They had all of these on display. They also had most of them printing. I got to see an Ender 5 in person. I got to see, let's see, what else did I get to see? Oh, I got to see the Spark i7. And the prints were pretty nice on the Bambus. I initially thought I was going to go ahead and try the Creality K2 Plus because I wanted to see what it did. And because they have the CFSs there, so I could buy a second piece or a second CFS, which is like an AMS or it's an extra unit to print more filament to put more colors up. When you get a combo, you get AMS, CFS. They all have different names, but are basically multi-filament, help you feed your printer with multicolors. So it had what was called for Creality, it was called a CFS. They had those for sale there so that I could go for an 8 color because that's one of the things that I really want to do. And I probably would have bought a Bambu from the Bambu website had they had that, but the only one they had that in was the H series, and I'm holding out for the Prusa Core 1. I want the Prusa Core 1. I want it with the INDX. My husband knows I want that with the INDX, so he keeps reminding me, just wait, just wait, just wait. So when I was there, I almost purchased an H2D, the Bambu Lab. There was a gentleman there that was talking me through it and was saying that it was phenomenal, and I believe him. I've watched lots of videos that show that the Bambu Lab is a great printer. However, in comparison to my Prusa, I have heard people compare them and say, Bambu Lab is so great. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I haven't had enough experience with the Bambu Lab to say that it is good or bad, but what I can say about my Prusa after looking at the other ones and how they were built, there is no way that anyone could look at those other printers and then look at a Prusa, because I have the Prusa XL. There's no way you could look at any of those other printers and look at the Prusa XL and not realize that the Prusa XL is a fine machine. It is beautiful. It's got linear rails on, X, Y, and Z. It's just a superior printer. It is amazing. The only thing that could make it better would be if you could print more than 5 colors, which I'm sure you could if you did the MMU, but it would not be something that they have already set up for you. But that's not saying that the Bambu isn't going to print well, because I'm showing you a print right here where the first thing I've got to print is a filament poop chute so that it can catch all of my filament for me as it does the poop. So And I ended up getting the P2S because I am going to wait for the Core 1, and I probably am going to get, when the induction nozzles come out, I'm going to get the Prusa Core 1. And I also want to get the Prusa Core 1L because my experience with Prusa so far, I know people discuss the price, but you just really cannot compare. And I can't wait until it comes out so that I can show you all of the differences of what makes it so superior and so good. And you can even see, here's the inside of the Bambu Lab right here, the P2S. You can see the camera, I have it on screen. This is not to say that it's a bad machine, but you can see they're not linear rails. They have, it's just not the same make. And if you could look at what the XL looks like, the difference is just so superior in the Prusa. The build of it, it's not, there's a lot of plastic in this Bambu. There's some plastic on the Prusa, and there's parts that you can print, but you can just tell that everything is just pieced together so well. And I just think that it's amazing. Even though you have to buy the enclosure afterwards, it is a far superior build of an enclosure. And if you know what you're doing with your printers, it is just an amazing printer. And I have to say that, especially after looking at so many in person, which I'm so thankful that Micro Center had all of those out and available and I could see them print. But I still think the Bambu Lab is a good printer. And I think that they will print well. But I think that as far as longevity, as far as the lifetime of the printer, I think that's something we are still going to have to wait and see. But I don't think that I'm going to have to worry about that with my Prusa because it is just built. It is a built machine. It is built to last. And that's just what I have to say after looking at the printers up close. With, I got to open the doors, I got to look at the print head, I got to look at the lead screws, I got to look at the print beds, and I left that store yesterday thinking, I don't know that I could buy another printer. I want to try these other ones because everyone talks about how good the Bambus are, but looking at my printer, the Prusa XL, I could just see why Prusa is who they are and why when I look on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, the only Prusas I see are like multi-generations ago. I see the MK3S way back. I mean, that is just, we are way past that as far as generations. And you just don't see the Core 1s for sale. You don't see the XLs for sale. I've seen a couple people offer them just because they're gonna, they've bought one or two and they don't need one or two, but I just don't see them for sale that often. So I guess I'll see on this Bambu. But I really want to try it, and I'm going to give it a fair shot. And I'll probably buy an H2D and H2C because it was really easy to set up. I was really impressed with, out of the box, I had to pull it out. The instructions on how to set it up were very clear. There wasn't any kind of misunderstanding on, what you have to do to set it up. Everything was great. It was very, they had the QR codes to help you watch how to set it up. They had videos. The communication was amazing. So I will give Bambu Labs its prompts for that. And I'm not going to say that I won't be a Bambu Lab person. I probably will like them too. But will I like my Prusa any less? Absolutely not. There's just no way. It is just a great machine. And I will forever... Well, I can't say forever because you never know what's going to happen with different companies. But at this particular point, so far in all the years that I've been printing, the Prusa has just far exceeded most printers that I have tried. And I have tried many. So I'm looking forward to trying out the Bambu Lab. I can't wait to see all of the different functions. I'm going to read about it some more. can't wait to see what happens. I did not know that I don't remember if it was the H2D, H2C, H2S. I get those all confused. But the one that has two nozzles and six, or it has two print heads on. It has two nozzles on the print head, but it has six nozzles on the side that it goes and picks up. That is, the gentleman said that those are induction nozzles. Okay, I gotta look that up and see. I did not know that. I still don't think that that's gonna outdo the 8 nozzle Prusa Core 1. And the reason why is because it has two heads on it. And he said that the color change takes about 40 seconds. That's a long time for a color change. Not as long as some heads might take for color changes. You know, my Prusa XL goes and picks up the head very quickly, heats it up, and then it just starts printing. And so it prepares ahead of time. Everything works great. It's just goes and picks it up, and then it like cleans it out, and then it starts printing. And I don't have to wait too long. It's preheated for me. So after having an XL, to go back to something where it has to preheat for multicolor, that's going to be, you know, a little hard, a little different to deal with. But, you know, to talk about the differences that I instantly saw for the H series, so the one with the 6 nozzles on the side, the way that the gentleman explained it to me is that the 2 nozzles constantly stay heated and they're induction. And then if you need a new color, it's not like the nozzles that are on the side are loaded with the colors already. It has to still use the AMS system to load the nozzle, and then it goes and or it takes its nozzle, it goes over, it picks it up if it changes. It like preloads it, and then it goes and picks it up. But that's not what the Prusa Core 1, when it gets the induction heating, that's not what it's going to do. It's going to have 8 colors loaded at all times. And they were saying that it was like a 6-second heat to go and pick up that nozzle. And pretty much by the time it gets back to printing, after it picks it up and heads back to print the layer that it's going to print in that color, the print head is already, the nozzle's already heated. Or almost heated, and the only place I could see that it wouldn't be heated would be in the front. Anything that would print, like if you had a big print that was printing in the front of the printer. But 8 colors already loaded all the time. That's amazing. That is just so good, and I can't wait to see it in action. I mean, I've watched some videos on it, but I can't wait to get it in person and get it in my hands. And the 3D printing world is just changing so much. And it has changed so much just since I began printing years ago. I've been printing, I'd say at least about 8 years at least, maybe 9, but I've been printing a long time. And I just really love printing, and I enjoy it so much. But I am looking forward to seeing where things are going to go and what's going to happen. But today, I did want to show you my Bambu printing. I'm printing, this is a rainbow color by Sunlu. It is one of their rainbows that I think is translucent, or supposed to be translucent, or it might be a silk. I didn't look, I just knew it was a rainbow by Sunlu. But when I went to Micro Center, they had a lot of colors from a brand called Inland. Now, there were some things there that I found out through the conversations that I had that were pretty interesting. So, my understanding is that Inland filament is made by Polymaker. And as many of you know, I am a Polymaker fanatic. I love their filament. I also love Elegoo's filament, which was one of the reasons that I was considering the Centauri Carbon 2. But now I am not so certain that I want to buy the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2. There are some rumors, after standing there talking, that there are some issues with the Illigus Centauri carbon tune. Now, do I know that to be true? No, these are just all rumors and speculation. But it was enough people talking while I was there at the store to say, I don't know that this is going to be the printer for me, because the problems sounded like they had to do a recall because they were so, or they pulled them back because there were some major problems with it. But who knows? If that's true or not, that's just what was said. So that kind of worried me about, do I want to make this purchase? And I don't think so. I think I'm just going to wait and I will get some other stuff later. So I'm going to play with this Bambu Lab P2S for a while. I really enjoy Maker World. A lot of my sites that I go to, they have automatically just start printing to Bambu. STL Flix has a lot of Bambu. A lot of their files are set for Bambu, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. I can't wait to dive into their slicer and really analyze it. Now, when I went to go print this poop chute, it was neat. It was a lot like my Prusa mobile that I use, except that on my Prusa mobile, and I don't know yet because again, I'm just beginning with the Bambu Handy. I have so much control over my print from my mobile device from my Prusa. I can add supports, I can take away supports, I can do painting, I can stop prints, like stop printing this piece on the bed while I'm in the middle of a print. If I'm printing 6 items, I can stop 5 of them if they're acting up. I don't know what Bambu's going to do, but I went to go look because this particular print said to add a brim. Now, it added a brim on its own. I didn't have to add it, but I couldn't find the place. But I only messed with it for a few moments because I just wanted to get something started to just see how it would print. The Bambu Lab, I didn't see those options, so if they're there, I didn't see them, but I would like to be able to control that from my mobile device, and I don't know if that's something I'm just spoiled with. I really had a hard time finding that on the Anycubic mobile app too. And maybe I just didn't know where to look because the Prusa one's just so user friendly that you just find where you need to go and it's just so easy to use. I do like the fact that this has cameras on it. My Prusa did not come with a camera. I had to install the camera, but that's okay because I got to install the camera that I wanted and I got to put it where I want, and that I did that. But the great thing about that is I chose to put that camera on there. It wasn't on there automatically. And the camera is nice, but if you don't want a camera that is controlled by or can be controlled by a cloud, that was one of the things I liked about the Prusa is it didn't come with the camera, so I didn't have to have it there with the possibility of being accessed if I didn't want it there. So security, privacy, you don't have to have a camera. You can put one on there if that's what you want, if you're not afraid of having your printer exposed to the internet, the cloud. Because let's face it, Bambu Lab is, a company and it's hosted in many different places. And right now in the 3D printing world, we are facing a lot of malware and a lot of problems with our files. So we got to be pretty careful with what we're doing. But I did read the user agreement for Bambu Lab, and one of the things that they stated in their user agreement is that they are committed to safety. And so as they release their firmwares that they update on the machines, they said they want to keep privacy and security at the top of their list. So that's respectful that they at least put that in their user agreement, just so you know that that is something that they find to be important. And I respect that. That's good that they want to keep that at the top of their list. So I'm going to keep using the Bambu. I'll let you know how it goes. So far it looks okay. You can see some striping there if you look right about here. You can see some striping. I need to find out about the door being closed and what temperature, because I print a lot of PLA on my Excel, and since the way that they have their enclosure built, it can just remain open when I need it to be open. And I don't know about the Bambu Lab and keeping the door closed or keeping it open. I've heard you need to open the door. I've heard you need to close the door. I'm going to have to check into that. Maybe that was from the P1S. Not certain. I did think about buying the A1 Mini or the A1. They had those there as well. They had them with the mini lights, and they had them with at the Micro Center. They also had the A1 Mini with the AMS light as well. Micro Center had a lot of printers. It is one of the first stores that I have been to really have an area dedicated to 3D printers. And let me tell you that they had a lot of customers in the 3D printing area, and they were selling filament. The gentleman said that they got filament just earlier on in this week, that they sell out so quickly. And I can see how, because there were a lot of people walking out of there with handfuls of filament. And it was so nice to see so many people so involved in 3D printing. That was so good. And I got to have some conversations with people about what they printed, what kind of printers they used, what kind of filament they used. I had one really kind of rude guy. He was just, I don't know, everybody else was talking and he didn't really, I don't know. Anyways, it was all good there at the Micro Center, and everything was tons of fun. One thing I saw at the Micro Center today, which was really good, it has nothing to do with 3D printing, but if you are a Magic the Gathering fan, they had the Avatar beginner sets, which are normally, I think, $35. They had them on sale for $15. I grabbed two. I'm going to give one to a friend who has been very helpful to me. I believe in kindness in so many ways. I create shirts that are on Amazon that say 3D printing kindness. I love to print for people and give them things. I constantly am sending toys to my nieces and nephews. So I'm going to give a friend of mine this pack of the Avatar Magic the Gathering, because he plays that game. But I just want to throw that out there. If you're a Magic the Gathering fan, check out your local Micro Center. You might be able to snag one of those, and that is a steal. To me, it's a steal. $15 for the starter pack. That's a pretty good deal. And it's Avatar Airbender. Who doesn't love Avatar? Well, if you're